Anyway, like I said, JFK basically had got stolen or gotten access to a chemicals lab that made steroids, and basically had a whole bunch of people driving around on motorcycles. And like I said, his crack military group had needed to be able to get around, so they had to make these monkey bars. Basically, Germans bent up these bars because, like I said, these these bodybuilders, or these basically steroid freaks, couldn't actually bring their hands together. They could not do this. They couldn't do this. Their pecs were so big and so huge that basically they couldn't get within 3 feet of they couldn't put their hands within 3 feet of each other. So they couldn't grab or ride a normal motorcycle. So because they could only get within the closest that they could bring their hands was like 5 foot together, or 3 foot together. So then the motorcycle handlebars were only like a couple feet apart. So they're like, well, our troops need to get around. So and they were like A-frame, like big, huge, like they put all the steroids up here and little bitty little legs. They looked really funny walking, and they thought they were sexy or whatever because they had like little bitty little waists and little bitty little legs, and like these great big muscles, and they're basically like Richard Nixon, John McCain's like crack like hit squad, and they were really actually taken out really easily by the Irish or the German or the British. The Irish took them out. I love the Irish, by the way. I love you Irish. You guys, the world owes you. The Irish, they were some real. They weren't Republicans. They weren't IRA. Like the Irish would say, we're not IRA. We have nothing to do with the Republicans' army. Like they're not. They're just good old Irishmen. They just they just want to drink beer and and do their stuff, or work or whatever. Anyway, the what's called Richard Nixon's crack military, which was these big muscle pound freaks. Basically, they needed to be able to get around, so they built these motorcycles known as monkey bars, and whatever, because they were like monkeys were like these big muscular dudes, because monkeys were supposed to be really strong or something like that. And realistically, monkeys are just normal strength, just that they're big, and they walk around, whatever. Anyway, though, these men that were called monkey bars, guerrilla warfare, they would say, we got some guerrilla warfare going on. And basically, it's just some big steroid freaks basically wandering around. And pretty much, you take a gun, and you just shoot them in the heart, and they bleed out, or hit them in the vein. You can see that vein. It's like, let's find out let's see how far a steroid freak can squirt blood. Just a little dab right here. And Chinese were far more dangerous, by the way. Far more dangerous. I mean, I had the Chinese learn the ventricle system of their. My Chinese warriors knew the ventricle system of the human body. So the Chinese warrior with a gun could take a gun if he just wanted to wound you, but not actually kill you. He could like a Chinese marksman could shoot a person like right here or right here. A Chinese person could. If a Chinese person wanted you to die in 3 hours, he would go and he would shoot right where the veins would be to make you bleed out. Like China. Oh, man. The Chinese warriors were like, whoa! like they were amazing. Like, I'm serious. If a Chinese warrior wanted you to die in 3 hours, you would be like, and you would be shot, and you would bleed out in 3 hours exactly. Because the Chinese scientists were like they knew exactly where and how to shoot you. If a Chinese person wanted you to die in 30 minutes, there's different spots on the body that with different vein sizes, and the Chinese knew exactly where to shoot you. If they wanted you to die in 6 hours, you would die in 6 hours. If they wanted you to die in 3 hours, you would die in 3 hours. If a Chinese marksman ever shot you and you didn't die immediately, it was because he didn't want you to die. They were, they woke up with their guns. They went to bed with their guns. They slept with their guns. They they practiced with their guns all day long, all night long. They knew, like the Chinese, they did the perfection of arts, which is basically they practiced with those guns until they knew exactly what to do, and then all they needed was the ventricle system and knowledge of a little bit of medical, and they were insanely powerful. They're really awesome. I love Japanese. Like when I asked the Japanese to go do something, it was like, yes, for the empire, and they did it. And they did the research. They did everything. So I was like, I'm not trying to kill indiscriminately. I want these people that are a problem. And so the Chinese would just. That's why everyone went after China so badly, because they were like the cornerstone of civilization for a little while, and they're really amazing people. I mean, the Chinese did more of an everything around kind of thing, whereas the Irish basically did. And I use the Chinese for security and stuff because, like I said, they had absolute trust. I mean, the Chinese were like, they're perfect, absolutely perfect. They had been perfect for thousands or millions of years. Like, they never lied. They did perfect science. I mean, they followed me to the letter. I asked for them to do this, they did that. I asked them to do this other thing, they did that. They were an amazing, wonderful group. Like I said, if there's ever the end of the world coming, you probably want to be in China, because they'll be ready for it. They're amazing. Anyway, Ireland's pretty amazing itself, but they're more of a, let's have a pint. I love the Irish. I love the Irish. Anyway, a lot of these old epic groups, they're old people and they just cruise. They've seen it all. They've seen everything. And it's like, well, the world is a weird place. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, crazy. Personally, I just want to invent and create and build things and go to space. Anyway, but John McCain, Richard Nixon, and a bunch of other really crazy people that were really high on methamphetamines and opium and all kinds of stuff were like, whoo, out there. So, anyway. So, yeah, well. Anyway, now I'm just like, I'm like, what? I'm not going to get a gun like John McCain and run around and just shoot my way to the 7-Eleven, rape the girl that's there, and then shoot my way to the drugs, and then do them, and then rape the girl that's there, and then shoot my way somewhere else like John McCain and Richard Nixon and all the others. I don't go for the fast, crazy, stupid life where you shoot your way along until you finally get shot in the head by China or some other place. Which is pretty much all these other people did. That's all they did. They went around slapping girls and selling drugs until someone finally said, enough of that. Which is what Mr. Brown and all the others were. Anyway, they're just too upset and too pissed off that other people might actually know who they are. It's like, well, yeah, somebody does know. Like the German said, somebody knows who you are, Mr. whatever, Nixon. And it's like, well, Lucifer. I do know who a lot of people are. And I just want to have a vacation and kick it with my life form. So I came down here to have a good time and relax. Like, I've already gone to 800 galaxies. I've already created 12 life forms that are over 1 billion or trillion years old. I don't care. I'm not in it for the stupid war. I'm not in it for the, you're never going to win, Brian. No one's ever going to listen to you. Or whatever. It's like, I'm not into the whole, like, I'm the fake leader. Like, I'm not, like, it's like, who cares? Shoot me in the head for all I care. The DeLorean was my car. That's why it's special, why it's amazing. So was LSF-71. Bunch of people. Anyway, I might change the name myself. I don't know. I had it rebuilt or something, and I don't know. It got all crazy with it. I didn't know that the USAF, whatever, were basically a crazy military group that were John McCain and Richard Nixon, who had gone and stolen a bunch of body armor from China and were running around like crazy psychopaths. Yeah, I didn't know they had come across the LS-71 and were trying to say that was theirs.